Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. You're watching In Deep on the Delta, and today I'm going to do a quick bait review on the new River2Sea Tactical Wake Bait. And I'm going to give you a use report on this bait. It's not like I just pulled this out of the box. I've been fishing it for a couple weeks now. They just came out about 3 weeks ago. I'm just getting around to doing the review. I put time on the water in this thing. We're not going to go over a bunch of things that you already know. I'll tell you the size of the bait, the weight of the bait, what to throw it on, but we're going to go over that stuff real quick. So let's get into the bait review, and I'll start right off the bat. We'll talk about the size and the weight of the bait. It's about an 8 1/4 inch bait, weighs about 4 ounces. Just for comparison, this is an S-Waver 200, the big one, not the 168. This is the 200. This is the Tactical Wake. Quite a bit bigger, quite a bit bulkier, different bait. These two baits are dramatically different. This is not your father's River2Sea bait. It is a definite quality upgrade. You're going to notice when you see these on the shelf, they have a $75 price point. And there's a couple reasons for that. We'll go over those reasons. I'll talk about what I really like about this bait, and I'm going to talk about what a couple of things that I think you may want to adjust before you start fishing this thing. For throwing this bait, you're going to want to have a dedicated swim bait rod. You're not going to throw this on a heavy cranking rod or anything. It is a fairly big bait. Dedicated swim bait rod, rated for 2 to 6 ounce baits, and probably a 300 series reel, something like a Shimano Tranx or a 300 Curado will do just fine. I'm throwing on 65-pound braid. I'm primarily fishing for largemouth bass. If I was fishing this for striper, I may upgrade to 80 or 90-pound braid. I don't think it's going to detour the action on this thing at all. Okay, so first thing, why is this a $75 bait? Number one, there's 3 things on it that I could see, other than just the entire quality of the bait. These are hand painted. Each one of them is hand painted. There's 6 different colors. I think 6 or 8 different colors. They're hand painted. They have an unbelievable joint that we're going to talk about this. They're calling it a proprietary joint. I think it's just patent pending. It is a stainless steel joint, and if you look at it, it's very much different than what you see on most swim baits. We'll talk about that a little bit and why I like it. The other thing that really stands out to me is the bill on this thing. It is rock solid. It's not only rock solid, but it has a little deflection wedge right in here, and I think that also helps the bait come over tules, wood, things like that. You're not going to throw this in slop like you would a frog, but it is pretty darn good when it comes to deflecting out of, just surface structures. So the other thing I like about this lip here, it is built like a tank. Unless you take this bait and ram it into a rock on an errant cast, there's nothing that's going to break this thing off. If this breaks off, it's probably my fault or the person who's casting it. So hand painted, all really nice components on this thing for the most part. A great design on this hinge in here. And listen to this. I don't know if you can hear that clacking, but because of this hinge, the clack is a little different than what I hear on most injection baits. This is not a hand-carved wood bait. This is an injection bait, and it has that
That's a good one.
Alright, there we go. There it is, guys. The new River2Sea Tactical Wake Bait. Thanks again, Dave.
That's right.
That's where we're working. The new River2Sea job. And it's getting big. It's getting big. Here's the deal. These baits are going to make memories for you, and I don't care what bait you buy, how much you pay for it. The one thing that a bait maker can't sell you is confidence and memories. And when you pull this thing out of the box, number one, they are so beautiful that you're going to have a lot of confidence in fishing them. Number two, after you fish this for a while, unfortunately, one of the things that I'll come right out and say, the paint jobs, although they are very beautiful, they're not going to stand up to a ton of use. I have already got bite marks on this thing. I've got some hook rash on it, and that's one thing that I have seen on the other reviews. They're talking about, well, geez, I took the bait out and I used it a couple times. It's already start getting hook rash. I don't care about that. If I wanted to put one of these on my mantle, I'd buy two of them. I'd put one on the mantle and I'd fish the other one. Here's an old Mikey that I have. You can see the hook rash on that. Back's all chewed up. It's beat up. This thing has memories. I forget what I paid for this, and I don't care, because the memories that this thing has made for me are priceless. And believe me, 2 weeks of fishing this, I already have memories. In 2 weeks, I've caught fish up to 6 pounds on this bait right here. I've had a couple of huge fish come up and blow up that I didn't get, and I know that this bait is just going to be rock solid. Okay, so throwing it with an appropriate style swim bait rod, 300 series reel. What do you want to do when you throw this thing? It doesn't matter, because it is a extremely versatile bait. If you want to burn this bait in, you can burn it in as fast as you can. It's not going to roll. It's not going to blow out on you. It's tight wobble. It'll come right through the water. If you slow it down, it's just got that rolling clack, 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 and this pop, 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 pop. We all know what that noise sounds like, and we all know when we're throwing it out there, and you could hear that pop, 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 pop. You know what's coming up. That is just, that's the mark for me. The mark of the sound of a wake bait is one of the marks that's going to catch me a lot of fish. So you can burn it in. You can slow roll it. I like to throw it out. I'll use some reel twitches. Pop, pop, pop. Let it sit. Maybe twitch it a couple times with the rod tip. It almost walks the dog back and forth like this. For a big bait, it's very animated in the water when you twitch it. I like to burn it a little bit, stop it, burn it, stop it. I'm having most of my results when I burn it, stop it, and then twitch it a couple of times, and then bam, they come up and hit it. And when they hit baits this size, they don't come up to kiss them. They come up to really rack these things. I don't know if I mentioned it, but 8 1/4 inches. This is just a great size for a bait, because it'll attract the biggest. I'm here on the Delta. We've got big fish here on the Delta. I fish Clear Lake a lot. 2 big bass factories. This bait will attract the biggest fish in the river or the lake, but it doesn't detour the 2 and 3 pound fish. So you're going to get bit quite a bit on these. And if you're looking to head hunt for a big fish, they'll pull up the biggest fish in the river. That being said, I've caught fish on this. When they come in a nice little box. The hooks are not on the bait, or the O-rings are on the bait. Now the one thing, I guess we'll talk 2 things that are a little bit, I'll say, suspect to a couple people. One of them, the finish is not going to last on them forever and ever. We talked about that. The hooks are very good hooks. If you're strictly fishing for largemouth bass, pull the River2Sea hooks, put them on here, and you're going to have no trouble. The O-rings that they have are susceptible. The one thing that I would do before you put either the River2Sea hooks on it, or if you're going to maybe fish for stripers and you want to upgrade the hooks to something a little heavier, you can do that. But whatever hook you're using, I would change out the O-rings on these things. And once you have those things on, I firmly believe 20, 30 pound striper, no problem at all. Double-digit largemouth bass, this thing's going to be around for a long time. Unless you throw it right into a rock, you're not going to break it. You fish this thing at low light periods, maybe with a little chop on the water. You burn it in for stripers, you slow roll it, you twitch it for largemouth bass, you make it do things that make it look like it's dying or about ready to die, and the fish are going to come up and just nail these things. So all in all, $75. 2 years down the road, you won't remember what you paid for this bait. You get a boat for $75, buy it, but you won't remember what you paid for this bait. But I guarantee you, you're going to have memories that are far more valuable than the $75 you paid for this bait. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button. If you have a comment, definitely hit me up with a comment. If you're fishing these things, let me know how you like them. If you have some pluses and minuses, make a comment, and I want to know what you think of this bait. I think it's a great bait. So go out, buy yourself one, catch some big fish. Let me know how you like it, and see you guys on the water.
Got him.